This is Eyewitness News. Now, Mark Brown, Michelle Tuzzi, Dallas Raines, and Phil Weir with the Southland's #1 news at 6.
A tough survivor tells his amazing story. Trapped in a wrecked van, he cuts off his own fingers to get back to the wife he loves.
Knowing I have another chance at life gives me a feeling of elation.
He's been absolutely adorable, just adorable.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mark Brown.
I'm Michelle Tuzzi. It's our top story at 6 o'clock. They went through 3 days of agony. He was pinned in his van as motorists drove by but failed to notice him there. And his wife had no idea where he was. Well, today they shared their story of survival and hope. Eyewitness News reporter Miriam Hernandez has the story live now from the hospital in Linwood. Miriam?
Well, doctors here at St. Francis Medical Center say that Lee Reisler was just 24 hours away from dying. Reisler himself realized that as he was stranded in his van, and so he says he had to make a painful choice. Lee Reisler, preparing for his 4th surgery, smiles at his future. The 54-year-old sandal maker from Lucerne Valley may have lost his arm, but he still has his life.
There are no words to describe the experience. Knowing I have another chance at life gives me a feeling of elation because I really wasn't ready to die there in that hole.
That hole is a ditch along the 605 freeway in Downey. A hit-and-run driver sideswiped him when no one else was around to see what happened. Dense brush hit his van for 2.5 days. Fearing help would never come, he tried with a hunting knife to cut his way out. Problem was, it was his arm that was pinning him in.
My parents raised me with the concept that a man does what he has to do.
And that meant cutting off 3 fingers and then trying to cut off his arm.
From a medical standpoint, we know that when the human body is driven to do something, especially when you're talking about life versus limb, life is, the instincts of life preservation come in play, and that's what he was trying to do.
His wife is not surprised he made the bold move.
This is not the first time he's performed some medicine. He's also delivered 2 of our children because he's really he's a very quiet, hardworking guy, and he's truly amazing.
And it was hopes of living to see his family that kept Reisler going until the wreckage was spotted by a Caltrans sweeper.
I'm encouraged about my future, and I plan to make a full recovery. I plan to live my life and to continue to surf and make sandals and meet my friends and do everything everybody else wants to do.
Because doctors were unable to save his arm, Reisler will be fitted with a prosthetic arm, an electronic one, and with that, doctors say, he will be able to do 90% of what he used to do with his natural arm. Reporting live from Linwood, Miriam Hernandez, ABC7 Eyewitness News. Now back to you.
One tough customer, Miriam. Thank you. Well, it looks like the wild winds are on their way back to Southern California. Eyewitness News meteorologist Dallas Raines has been watching it, and he joins us with the latest. Dallas?
Thanks, Mark. Yes, we are expecting those winds to start blowing down through the Cajon Pass. A high wind warning has been issued. This is the Santa Ana wind type of situation, which will come in out of the north and northeast, feed down through the canyons. So, look out for the winds developing later tonight. Of course, when we come back, we'll tell you all about that and give you the forecast for the weekend in just a few minutes. Michelle, back to you.
Okay, Dallas, thank you. See you soon. A high-speed pursuit on L.A. streets has left a suspect dead and 3 members of an innocent family badly hurt. Police began chasing a BMW driven by 38-year-old Alton Moore in the Wilshire area. The chase ended this way in Jefferson Park when Moore's car crashed head-on into a Cadillac. 3 people in the Cadillac were injured, 2 seriously. Moore was killed. As family members mourned his death, his brother spoke with reporters.
The reason why he was probably running from the police, he's very scared of the police. He has no criminal record, no warrants, no nothing. He's just scared of the police.
Police say they had tried to stop the BMW for speeding, but the driver tried to back into a police car and then sped off. 2 men riding with Moore fled before the crash.
A crash killed 1 person on the southbound 73, the San Joaquin Hills Transportation Corridor. Eyewitnesses say the car swerved out of control at high speeds and slammed into a pillar that holds up the overpass. The driver of the Ford Explorer was killed in that crash. It happened about 2:30. It tied up the fast lane for hours.
Today was sentencing day for the man who admitted to the brutal murder of Kaylee Manley. She was the 14-year-old Ojai girl whose disappearance set off a massive search. Eyewitness News reporter Pablo Pereira was in the Ventura County courtroom. He has the story.
And if I could take her place and give her back to everybody that loves her, I would do it in a second. and for that I am sorry.
Convicted murderer David Alvarez publicly apologized for the first time today for the December '98 murder of 14-year-old Kaylee Manley. But the apology for this 23-year-old Ojai man comes too late.
Defendant shall serve a sentence of life in prison with a minimum custody term of 25 years.
Alvarez was spared a possible death sentence in a plea bargain deal. He led authorities to Kaylee's nude body in a drainage ditch north of Ojai nearly a week after she disappeared. By dropping attempted rape and special circumstance charges, Alvarez could one day be set free.
We wanted an end to this, and I now know there is no end, but I know he'll die in prison.
But before Alvarez was let out of court and off to state prison, Kaylee's mother and sisters spoke about the loss of their loved one and the man who took her life.
I will always have a memory of how she was finally found, nude, bloody, frozen in a drainage pipe.
I know Kaylee is free of all that pain and fear now. This monster tried to snuff out her light, but now she only burns brighter than ever.
With a sentence today of 25 years to life for the murder of Oakview teenager Kaylee Manley, 23-year-old David Alvarez, who's already served a year in county jail, won't be eligible for parole from state prison until his 47th birthday. Reporting in Ventura County, Pablo Pereira, ABC7 Eyewitness News. Marijuana charges have been filed against a teacher's aide at an Orange County high school after he allegedly sold drugs to a teenager. Our Orange County Bureau Chief, Sid Garcia, is live in Newport Beach with the latest. Sid.
Mark Carl Johnson was a teacher's aide here at Newport Harbor High School. He's facing at least 15 counts of selling marijuana to minors, and according to Newport Beach Police, he allegedly was able to recruit at least one teen to help him sell. Carl Johnson was a part-time aide with the special ed department at Newport Harbor High School. The school district has taken swift action.
In the case with Mr. Johnson is that we put the employee on administrative leave to make it real clear to him that he's not to be on any campus of the school district and he's not to have any contact with any students. And that's basically what we'll do at this point, pending the outcome of this situation.
Johnson was busted Tuesday night at a Newport Beach park. Police allege Johnson met a Corona Del Mar high school student here trying to make a marijuana sale. That's when investigators moved in.
They saw him go to Corona Del Mar High School, where he made contact with the juvenile. They continued following him, and eventually on Tuesday evening saw him go to Bonita Creek Park, which is just up the street here from us and just about a quarter mile from Corona Del Mar High School. They saw him make contact with a 15-year-old juvenile. It looked to them like a narcotic sale was going down. They made contact and, in fact, caught him in the process of making a drug sale to this 15-year-old.
Johnson made bail, no comment at his Newport Beach home, where police say they found pot and other drugs. Students at Newport Harbor High, where Johnson worked, tell me they're miffed by what happened.
I just think that's bad. I can't believe that. Makes our teachers look bad.
Now, Johnson's due in court on these pot charges in May. Live in Newport Beach, Sid Garcia, ABC7 Eyewitness News. Mark Michelle, back to you.
Sid, thank you for that live report. Still ahead, searchers have found another body from that ill-fated UC Davis expedition to Baja.
Tensions increase as the father of 6-year-old Elian Gonzalez gets ready to come to the United States.
And a new study shows there is more sex and violence on television.
Truck or SUV has never been easier. Choose Camry, America's #1 selling car.
Really like the new Camry.
I love it.
Or Corolla, the world's all-time bestseller.
Corolla's the one.
We can do this easy.
The revolutionary new Echo. This is cool.
You gotta get this.
Or the radical new Celica.
Awesome. This is totally awesome.
Take it for a ride.
Cool.
Choose the fun-to-drive RAV4.
I can totally do this.
A rugged 4Runner.
This is a really good deal.
It's a great deal.
Drive home a tough Tacoma truck.
This is a great truck.
Or a V8-powered Tundra.
This is one serious truck. Buy it or lease it, we'll make it easy.
Es muy fácil.
我最喜欢 Toyota. Great.
Getting into a new Toyota is easy. So see your Toyota dealer today.
We make it easy on you.
This week, all three-quarter sleeve tops and cropped pants, including Dockers, Lee, and Gloria Vanderbilt, are on sale. Mervyn's, California. Big brands, small prices.
Search teams have recovered another body off central Baja California from Monday's UC Davis boating accident. 53-year-old Gary Polis was the leader of the research expedition, chairman of the UC Davis department, and a world-famous expert on scorpions. The small boat that capsized in high winds has also been recovered. The search continues now for one missing researcher from Japan. 4 people are confirmed dead. The 4 survivors walked across the Mexican border near Tijuana today, accompanied by campus officials who flew down to meet them. They'll be questioned by the Coast Guard and then returned to the Sacramento area tonight.
It's not often the U.S. and Cuba are on the same side of an issue, but that's exactly the case now in the fight for Elian Gonzalez. Both the U.S. government and Havana agree that Elian's father should be reunited with his son here in the States while the legal battle continues. Today, the father's attorney announced that Juan Manuel Gonzalez will petition for a visa, but he will reportedly only come to the U.S. if he is assured of temporary custody. The 6-year-old has lived in Miami with his great-uncle, who is fighting to keep the boy here in the U.S.
Michelle, day 1 of deliberations produced no verdict in the trial of accused Madam Jody Baby Doll Gibson. Gibson is accused of running a bi-coastal call-girl ring out of her desert home and a motel room in Van Nuys. She's facing 7 counts of pimping and pandering and 14 years if she's convicted. Her clients supposedly included movie stars and Fortune 500 executives.
If you think there's a lot more sex and violence on TV these days, you're right. A study from the Parents Television Council finds the amount of violent and racy content in prime time has dramatically increased in the past 10 years. Incidents involving sex are up more than 300%, and the use of foul language up more than 500%.
Broadcasters have abandoned their responsibility and abrogated the public trust by abandoning minimum standards for content.
The council says broadcasters are not the only ones to blame. It believes parents must also take control to protect their kids from the inappropriate material.
Still ahead for us here at 6. If you're tired of soaring gasoline prices, we'll show you some cars that could help solve the problem.
And the job of cleaning up from those Texas tornadoes is far from over.
And I'm Dallas Raines. Maybe wind's not that strong, but certainly Santa Ana's. We'll have forecast next.
And I'm Bill Weir. Bobby Knight is accused of unleashing his wrath on his own boss. That story, plus the men sworn to bringing your Cracker Jacks in record time with no concern for their own safety. Meet them later in the show.
Don't miss. It's Fun in the Sun week on Wheel of Fortune.
Head into the great outdoors with Wheel.
These contestants are putting on their shades and spinning to win big cash and prizes, including sunny vacations and convertibles. Don't miss this week's Wheel.
Tonight at 7:30, right here on ABC 7.
Members of FEMA have arrived in Fort Worth, Texas to begin the massive job of recovery. A pair of powerful twisters caused major damage there this week. Downtown Fort Worth took a direct hit. 4 people were killed in the storm. A 5th person is still missing. Damage is estimated at $300 million. More than 100 homes were destroyed. Governor George W. Bush has declared the Fort Worth area a state disaster area.
Thousands of people are keeping a very nervous eye on this rumbling volcano in Japan. Scientists are warning Mount Usu is ready to erupt at any moment. While flying over the volcano in a military helicopter, they saw cracks stretching up to 100 yards on the slope of the volcano. For a 3rd straight day, earthquakes rocked the area around the mountain. More than 10,000 people living nearby have been evacuated to shelters.
Dallas Raines is here now. Some windy weather on the way for us?
Yes, I believe so. We've got Santa Ana winds going to start blowing in here probably late tonight. And if you're planning to drive along that 10 freeway, you know, as you head out toward Rancho Cucamonga, that area, winds may gust up to 60 miles an hour late tonight, early tomorrow morning. So this is a big event with high wind warnings in effect this afternoon. All right, let's go at this moment to Denver, Colorado. It's springtime in Denver. Look at the daffodils. Oh, my goodness gracious. You know, my wife, the first part of her years before she moved to Los Angeles, grew up there early in Denver, and she said it happens every time. You get ready for spring, and everyone's ready, and they get the little shorts going, and then boom, this happens. So there you go. Denver in early spring. All right, here we are in Southern California. Things look good. We've had the low clouds 2 days. Now I think they're blowing out. We had more sunshine this afternoon, and more is coming. 61 degrees right now. It is clear. Humidity is 62%. Our wind is out of the southwest at 8, so not strong yet, but we should see the winds beginning to pick up late tonight after midnight and through early tomorrow morning. Had a 67 today, pretty nice, and 52 this morning, slow. We'll see that temperature start to go up, too, once the Santa Anas kind of get going. Take a look at the satellite view, and I'll show you what's happening. You can see, let me pull all these wires out of here, first of all. There we go. Here's the low right here, and then look right in this area around the Denver area. These are cold clouds producing the snow. As we do our weather flight, we'll come in closer. This low is going to spin around and then kind of make its way, what we call retrograding, moving backwards towards Southern California. And when we get a little closer to that, we're going to spin up the winds. Here's the big picture for tomorrow's map around the nation, and you can see a very strong pressure gradient. In other words, the air pressure changing dramatically over a short distance. That produces the wind. That's what causes wind. Pressure changes, and so it's going to be northeast winds feeding down while snow will continue to fall up here. Cold weather. Back east temperatures look pretty good. Head for some nice weather down in Florida and temperatures in the 80s. Let's look at my forecast low temperatures tonight. Now, I think with the clear skies, we're going to see temperatures cool off as some of that cold air begins to move in off the desert into Southern California. So tomorrow morning, late tonight, we'll see the strongest winds coming through the Cajon Pass. Up to 60 is a possibility. So that's the reason we have the high wind watch out in that area. 70 tomorrow in Ventura. Should be a beautiful day from Malibu down in the South Bay. I mean, great afternoon, and down into Huntington Beach. But the winds will start blowing, but the temperatures will warm up into the mid-70s. Here's the 5-day forecast. So the palm tree's kind of doing a little job here, blowing late tomorrow, and then into Saturday, temperatures start to rise. I'm still confident that we could see near 80 degrees downtown on Saturday and into Sunday. So, and they should also, those winds should back off on Sunday, leaving us with a gorgeous day on Sunday. Now, if you're going to the desert, though, big difference. Now, that forecast is for, like, Los Angeles. If you were headed like the Colorado River, there's a possibility of actual rain in the desert for Saturday and Sunday. So, okay. Winds are coming. We'll check it at 11 tonight and see where they are.
All right.
Have your eye on it all. Dallas, thanks a lot. It took Hercules and Xena the Warrior Princess to raise the new massive IMAX 3D screen at Universal City Walk.
1, 2, 3.
With that Herculean effort, the 60 by 80-foot IMAX 3D screen was hoisted into place. And beginning on April 14th, you can watch the IMAX 3D movie T-Rex, Back to the Cretaceous. And on April 12th, yeah, Dallas is already lined up for that. On April 12th, City Walk celebrates the grand opening of 70 more businesses, including a bowling alley, a couple of dance clubs, and a virtual motor speedway.
Wow, fun place to visit. Still ahead, gassing up could get a lot easier in the next few years.
We'll show you the cars that could be in your future.
And in sports, bad boy Bobby Knight is in the news once again. Bill Weir explains coming up.
Join us for all the late-breaking news, live traffic reports from Air 7, and your up-to-the-minute local weather.
ABC 7 Eyewitness News this morning. Tomorrow, now from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Bob Vila tells homeowners how to get out from under credit card debt.
Hi, I'm Bob Vila, and these are offers to get credit cards. It's pretty easy to get them, not so easy to get out from under the bills. How many credit card bills do you get each month? 3, 5, more? And how much interest are you paying? 16, 18%? Do you even know? And don't be fooled by introductory rates that only last a few months. You can eliminate those bills. You can stop paying that high interest. Here's how. Just call Home 123. The loan counselors at Home 123 will show you how to turn your high-interest credit card bills into one bill that's probably a lot less than you're paying now. And the interest may even be tax-deductible, unlike credit card interest. Imagine just one bill a month and money left in your pocket. So, if you own your own home, call Home 123 right now and discover how to get rid of all those credit card bills. Call 1-800-HOME-123 or visit us on the web at home123.com. It's how to get the money you need.
With gas prices the way they are, we'd like to take this moment to add a helpful little reminder. the very fuel-efficient Civic from Honda. Now get special financing as low as 4.9% APR for 36 months on all new Civics.
The inner city has its first putting greens, and they are named after a golfing pioneer. Maggie Hathaway, a civil rights activist, is credited with breaking the color barrier at LA's public golf courses. Today, she and Councilman Mark Ridley Thomas helped open the 2 9-hole courses at the Jim Gillum Recreational Complex on South La Brea. Now the putting greens are open to kids of all ages so they can learn the game. Could be the next Tiger Woods getting ready right there. He knocked that one in.
Wow. You know, they're going to be good when they get a little bit older, starting early like that. Bill Weir joining us now. You have another Japanese entree for us tonight.
I do, yes. A little wasabi on the side, and we'll start you off with some sake and give you a little baseball. The Cubs and Mets should be over their jet lag, I don't know, in time for the All-Star break, but an entertaining little series for those insomniac baseball fans inclined to stay up and watch. Game 2 of the short series, plenty of traditional American ballpark food at the Big Egg, and apparently they perfected the edible beer cup. They beat us again. Here's the hero, Benny Agbayani, a Hawaiian native. Grew up watching sumo. He bellies this one out for an 11th inning pinch hit grand slam. They call game-ending shots sayonara home runs over there, and the Mets say sayonara with the win. Agbayani gets the trophy there. He's slated to be sent down to the minors in a couple weeks. At least he made the most of the spotlight, huh?
I just was praying. I was telling myself, just keep going over, and it went over.
We feel that we came here and played great. You know, we should win both games, but it's happened. Got to, hang with it and come back and pack everything and go back home.
Sammy in mid-season form there with the sound bites. The Dodgers open the season against Montreal next week, and if spring training is any indication, the Spos will smack blue around. Fortunately, spring training is not an indication. Excuse me, Mr. Hergis, if you sign my ball, I'll show you how to make funny duck noises. The Expos' spring dominance continues with Vladimir Guerrero's blast off of Allen Mills. The lone bright spot for the Dodgers today was a Todd Hollinsworth home run. You'll see it now. Montreal beats L.A. for the 4th time in 5 spring games. They do it for real beginning Monday, 8-4, the finals today. College basketball, as the investigation into alleged player abuse continues, there is another account of Bob Knight's legendary temper. The Indianapolis Star reports today that Indiana athletic director Clarence Doninger stopped by the Hoosier locker room after a February loss to comfort the team. Knight began yelling at Doninger, and the two almost came to blows. The AD reported the incident to the school president, but no action was taken. More coaching news. Clyde Drexler has turned in his clipboard. The former NBA great resigned from his post at the University of Houston. The Cougars won just 20 games in 2 seasons under the Glide. He says he needs a break, wants to spend a little more time with the family. Oh, and Lauren Woods of Arizona, Jamal Tinsley of Iowa State will skip the draft and finish their senior seasons. Well, finally, ever since Michael Jordan announced he is through endorsing products, I think we've all been thrown for a loop. How are we supposed to know what Gatorade to drink? What underpants to buy? Luckily, there are other athletes filling Mike's schlepping void. Mr. October, Roger Jackson was the master of ceremonies at the Cracker Jack Vendor of the Year competition. Cracker Jack holds this event every year, and this year they're unrolling the new product called Nothing But Nuts. Robert McKay, the ecstatic winner, they had you like throw a bag, through a little thing. You had to run the bases with your pallet there. You had to do the call. And Robert gets a cool baseball car as a prize. Great story. A few years ago, Cracker Jack wanted Harry Carey to be their spokesman. So the president of Cracker Jack goes up to the booth at Wrigley, and Harry didn't know he was coming. And they say, Harry, guy from Cracker Jack is here. And he proceeded to go on a 9-inning tirade against Cracker Jack because he thought the prizes were a ripoff. Oh. The kids think they're getting a prize, and it's a little piece of garbage. A little magnifying glass. And he went on. It was the funniest thing.
He blew the endorsement deal.
Yeah, there it was. Oh, well.
Thank you, Bill.
Sure.
Drivers concerned about the rising cost of gasoline may soon get some help from the big 3 American automakers. General Motors, Ford, and Daimler Chrysler have joined the U.S. government today to show off their newest fuel-efficient concept cars. Most of the cars on display are hybrids, meaning they use small gasoline or diesel-powered engines combined with electric motors. The engines charge the batteries, so the cars don't need to be plugged in like current electric vehicles. They also have a much longer range. In addition, the cars use lighter materials and more aerodynamic designs. They have been developed under a combined industry-government project which began in 1993. Some environmental and consumer groups have questioned commitment of the big three automakers, but today Vice President Al Gore praised their efforts.
They're committed to this, and they're backing up their commitment with the kind of hard work that only these organizations can accomplish.
The challenge has been to produce full-sized family sedans that can get 80 miles to the gallon by 2004. These cars are getting very close.
This is a hybrid electric vehicle as well. It's a low-emission, full-size family car. It can deliver nearly 80 miles per gallon of fuel, and it sacrifices no performance or functionality.
He was talking about Ford's Prodigy sedan. It also has a sport utility vehicle called the Escape. General Motors has the Precept electric car and the Pontiac Aztek SUV, while Chrysler has the ESX3 sedan and a Durango sports utility hybrid. Vice President Al Gore has urged Congress to extend and expand a $4,000 tax credit currently being given to people who buy electric vehicles. These cars of the future are expected to become available to the public over the next couple of years. Japanese hybrids, the Honda Insight and the Toyota Prius, are also coming out. They are already coming out. However, most experts feel those are too small to appeal to American consumers.
It's got to be big, it's got to move fast, have a long range, people will buy it.
Absolutely.
You can quote me.
Okay.
We have just seen a preview of the automotive future.
And next up, we'll put you on a trip with the hot rods of the past.
Who is he? What is he? Where's he going? The answer depends on us.
California once ranked 6th in public school spending. Now we dropped to 40th. With fewer teachers and not enough clean, safe classrooms. We need to invest more to make our schools the best again.
To learn how you can help our schools, call the California Teachers Association now.
Dieter here knows about cars. I'm an expert. Yeah. Roomy, comfortable, Camry.
Lots roomier than Camry.
Quality workmanship. Accord.
Dieter, come on. It's a Buick Century. Unlike Camry, Accord, or Taurus, every Century comes with traction control, dual climate control, and 4-wheel ABS standard.
Wow.
So, Dieter, take the Century Challenge and get $1,000 cash back on a 2000 Century. Or get 0.0% APR GMAC financing.
What's this?
That's the ejector button.
You know the accident up there?
Yeah.
The lady, she broke her neck.
Oh my God, where is she?
Standing next to my window.
It will scare you. It will thrill you.
I see dead people.
It will haunt you.
Please make them leave.
And it will be here when you get here, guaranteed. The Sixth Sense, starring Bruce Willis. A supernatural thriller so good, you'll definitely want to see it again. Guaranteed to be there on VHS and DVD at Blockbuster.
Chicken burrito madness is back at El Pollo Loco. Our famous flame-broiled chicken wrapped up in a brand new Mexican chicken Caesar burrito. And that's just one of the great-tasting burritos at El Pollo Loco. When you're crazy for chicken.
Paul has slashed the price of this Mitsubishi Giant Screen to $15.98. No payments for 1 year with no interest, same as cash financing. This weekend at Paul's TV.
I am the king.
More rock and roll classics with less talk. That's the difference. We're Aero 93.
If you love chocolate, there may be trouble ahead. An alert has been issued about a threat to the world chocolate supply. 3 types of fungus have been attacking so-called chocolate trees in South America, Africa, and Asia. Chocolate doesn't grow on, what does it grow on trees? It's not chocolate trees, they're just cocoa trees, I think. The seeds from these trees are used to make chocolate and cocoa, and because of the fungus, yields are way down. Take heart, though. Candy makers say supplies are okay for now, and they're working to fix the problem.
We're okay. All right, Laura Diaz is here now with a look at what's coming up on Eyewitness News at 11.
Mark and Michelle, thank you. Coming up at 11 o'clock, the story of the survivors of a boat tragedy off the coast of central Baja that killed 4 researchers. We'll hear about their harrowing ordeal. And an NYPD Blue star, easy for me to say, is quitting the show to become a news anchor. Those stories and more tonight at 11 o'clock following ABC's new show, Wonderland. Don't want to miss that.
Sports with Dennis Franz.
There you go.
Maybe not.
Could happen.
Well, San Antonio is one cool city right now. The Texas community will host the 18th annual National Lowriders Convention this weekend. For many lowriders, it's a way of life. Many consider the cars works of art. The owners spend countless hours on paint, bodywork, chrome, and sparkling engines. Organizers say they hope the convention helps people see lowriders in a different, more positive light. It also brings people together. In some cases, entire families have taken up the hobby.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us for Eyewitness News at 6. Stay tuned to World News Tonight with Peter Jennings up next.
Now for Michelle Tuzzi, Dallas Raines, Bill Weir, and the entire Eyewitness News team, I'm Mark Brown. Have a great evening.
Good night.
The Global Step 4.